Thursday, March 19th, and you're watching the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. I'm your host today, Jay Scuba, alongside my producer, Mike Bennett, behind the boards, making things work smoothly on this beautiful Thursday in the middle of March. Yes, we've waited all year for this moment. We've waited almost 340 days for this moment. The round of 64 begins today, begins right now, begins in 15 minutes. And oh, am I ever so excited to sit on my couch and watch basketball for the next, what is it? After this show, 12 hours, 13 hours? I don't know. Not that good at math. Anyways, before we get into the show today, we got a game at 12:15. I wanted to give out a sweat live on air. So I bet this right before we went live. Over on FanDuel, Xavier Edmonds, over 7.5 rebounds, currently plus 118 at FanDuel. Is this a good bet? I honestly don't know. I just look for the best price in market on some stuff. I know that this OSU team doesn't have like a lot of big rebounders. Xavier Edmonds, TCU's best rebounder. Let's do it. Let's have some fun. Bet responsibly. When you're betting, always make sure you're finding the best price in market. That's what margin's for. Having some fun with it. If you want some more in-depth stuff, stick around for the next 2 minutes or so. We're going to bring on Josh Nunn, who leads the way, a.k.a. Step on the Duck on Twitter. He's going to be breaking down rapid fire every single game on the board today. All 16 games. All 16 games. Then we're going to talk some games for tomorrow. We're going to talk some round of 32, some matchups he wants to see. And then we're going to talk some futures. I'm excited to get into the show today. After that, of course, we have Alex and So Money talking some NHL best bets. 11 games. Probably not going to be watching those. I have 3 TVs. When there's only 2 games on, when there's only 2 March Madness games on, then I'll throw on some NHL. But today, these type of days, they only happen twice a year. Anyways, excited to get into today's show. Do me a favor, guys. Let me know in the chat what you guys are betting on. I'm curious to hear what you've bet on already today, what you need, what you're going to be sweating throughout the day. Always want to know what we're riding. We want to ride as a group. And before we get into things, of course, want to give a shout out to our friends over at BetStamp Pro, because March Madness means 60 plus games in 2 weeks, nonstop live movement, massive betting action, and tons of live betting opportunities. The team at BetStamp has spent over a year building and testing a new live odds screen for both main markets and props. Watch the entire market move in real time with sub-second latency and a back-tested true line, so you can attack off-market edges instantly. They've actually been using this tool internally for over a year. They're launching it publicly for the first time during the tournament. Scan the QR code on screen, click the link in the description, or head to betstamp.com/hammer to book a quick call and get set up before the tournament gets underway. You know what I'm doing after the show. I'm bugging all the guys at BetStamp and saying, guys, for the ad read purposes, I need to test this live thing out. I love betting March live, and I'm excited to do so using BetStamp Pro. You guys should really use the tool. It's very good. Haven't tested the live one yet, but excited to test it in the future. All right, let's get into today's show. You know him, you love him. He's a college football expert, college basketball bettor. And I want to listen, in his bio, he doesn't say he's a college basketball expert, but I'm going to give it to him the way he was breaking down the games yesterday. Let's bring him on up. Step on the Duck, a.k.a. Josh Nunn. How's it going, my friend?
Doing real well. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to get into the slate. You know, you had alluded to it at the beginning of the show in the intro, but this is just such a fun 2 days of the year. We get to sweat the action for 14 hours each day. Maybe we see some upsets. We get a ton of action. The presentation on CBS and True TV is exquisite, and it's just such a great watch and a real fun thing to experience every year for these 2 days.
Absolutely, and I feel like also the fact that the networks are like embracing it more. Listen, we don't get it as well up here in Canada. The frustrations I have, I can get to that in a little bit, but it feels like the media attention that it's that's persisted around it, where like they're trying to get as many games on TV as possible. Where I've heard many years ago, it's like it's a crapshoot on what games you're going to watch. They might cut away from a game and like halfway through the second half. Like it's really good to see that, you know, these media companies are embracing what a big moment this is, this round of 64. Before we get into the round of 64 and the games for today, I want to quickly talk about last night, because we saw Farley, Trump, Lehigh, which a little bit of an interesting game, but not too interested in that. I think the game that I'm more interested in is the Miami, Ohio, and SMU game, where, you know, Miami beats SMU. They look really good. They're firing off a bunch of threes. They are like the prototypical like upset team because of listen, this is the only game I've watched in Miami. I'm not like a big fan. When I watch that team, I say, hey, they can shoot threes. Hey, they can rebound. I don't know what their free throw shooting is like, but a team that was just willing to chuck up threes, live for an upset any day of the week. So talk me through the Miami Ohio game last night. Tell me about like what happened on the money line and like the spread towards the end of towards close, because I saw it move from like 7.5 to like 6.5. I don't know if that was just late money coming in or what the deal was there. And talk to me about that game and what Miami looks like to you.
Well, Miami of Ohio was very impressive. They've been impressive all season. You don't go 31-0 in the regular season without being a good team. And the knock on Miami of Ohio all year was that they hadn't played anybody, even though they had attempted to play, and they had 84 teams that rejected playing them this season. So the real question was, should they get in the tournament? Should they not? We now know that they validated that they should have. I thought that there was a chance that they would struggle with SMU's athleticism. They hadn't played against anybody of that caliber of athlete all season, and their strength of schedule was very poor. I did advocate all season that Miami of Ohio should have been in the tournament, and so I'm glad that they were. But I did think they would struggle. That clearly was not the case. They were able to hold their own, and they had formidable post play. They forced SMU into some bad shots and really frustrated SMU while the Ponies were on offense. And then you look at the three-point shooting from Peter Suter and Byers and Skaljak, the point guard. Miami has lived and died by the three a lot this season, and they fire up a lot of them. But when you make 17 threes on that stage, it's an impressive performance. And Miami just was consistently able to weather the storm. They were the better team yesterday. They were fully in control. You know, the spread opened right away at 7.5, was quickly bet up to 8. And then the Miami money came in, and it was very, very heavily bet. I think some books put out that 77% of the action, both on the spread and money line, were on Miami of Ohio. So it came down to 6.5, bounced around between 6.5, 7 for most of the day yesterday. But you knew right away that Miami of Ohio was the right side. SMU only ever led the game by 4 points. They couldn't make shots. They couldn't get their big guys post touches. Yiggy, the post guy for SMU, had maybe 5 or 6 paint touches that were procured early on, but he really was ineffective outside of that. And with Miami of Ohio having 5 shooters at all 5 positions, with Atlason and Elmer made shots, and Woolfolk in the post, I mean, they were just so buttoned up. You could clearly tell that Travis Steele had these guys ready for the moment. I thought there was a chance as well that maybe the moment would have been too big. Miami didn't play on national TV a ton. They didn't play against this type of caliber of opponent, but those guys were dialed in. They knew exactly what they wanted to do on offense and defense. And at the end of the day, Steele said, hey, people are going to think this is an upset. This is not an upset. We belong. We were the better team. We knew we were the better team. And I like the confidence they're playing with, and I think they have a chance to keep it close against Tennessee. Yeah,
it should be an interesting matchup against Tennessee here. It seems like they got like all the bulletin board material they needed to just come out and be like absolutely ice cold and just nail threes. Selfishly, I need to watch more of that team in the tournament. Hopefully they can beat Tennessee. Would ruin my bracket, but I don't really care. I just want to watch some fun and entertaining ball. All right, let's get geared up. We're going to rapid fire. There's 16 games we're going to get through. And I just want quick thoughts for you on each one. If you have bets, let us know what they are on those individual games. So we're going to start with the TCU-Ohio State game that is going live in, 5 minutes. Ohio State right now at -2.5 at FanDuel. -104, totals at 145.5. Talk us through this game quickly.
I think TCU is the right side. I took them +2.5. They're well coached with Jamie Dixon. I think the defense is going to be able to keep Ohio State off the foul line, and they'll be able to limit the effectiveness of Bruce Thornton. TCU has played very, very good competitive basketball down the stretch, and they've played up very well. They took Michigan to the wire. They beat Florida. They should have beat Kansas twice. They had leads in both those games late and blew it. But if you look at game by game, TCU is peaking now. And while Thornton carried Ohio State their last 5 games of the season, now they've had a week off. Maybe that rest is bad for Ohio State. Maybe we see a little shooting regression back down. I think TCU can win this game outright. So getting 2.5, that's the play I made.
TCU 2.5 is what we're looking at here. Troy, Nebraska. Troy is I'm getting a lot of upset love on Twitter. I'm seeing a lot of upset love on Twitter for Troy. Do you think they have a chance for it?
Small chance at the upset. Scott Cross is an excellent coach. The way that he was let go at UTA was a crying shame, but Troy will be very well prepared. These guys defeated San Diego State this season, and they took USC to triple overtime. I think we'll see a slow-paced game from Troy. I think their defense will be able to create some problems for Nebraska. Nebraska's never won an NCAA tournament game, and so now we're asking them to win this one by 13, 13 and a half. If the Huskers are hitting threes at a high rate, well, sometimes you got to tip your cap and move on. But I think Troy's high pressure, high intensity defense can at least limit the production of Nebraska. I won't be surprised at all if this is a 6 or 7 point game at the under 4 time out of the second half, with Troy really competing to the end here. So I took Troy plus 13.5.
Troy plus 13.5 is available on FanDuel at the minus 110 if you're looking for it. Next game, South Florida, Louisville. Matt Winnick came on yesterday, loves South Florida. Then we get the news of Louisville's freshman guard, Michael Brown, won't be playing this weekend for Louisville against South Florida. Total of the game right now is at 162.5. Spread is plus 4.5, minus 115 for South Florida. Are you a believer in South Florida making this upset, or is this Louisville's game regardless of their injuries?
I think South Florida has a very, very good chance. The injury to Michael Brown and him not playing, the offense has been much different for Louisville without him. I think South Florida really has the motivational edge. A lot of people don't know this, but South Florida's coach, Brian Hodgson, is from Western New York, where they're playing today. He was adopted as a small child, and his ailing father has never seen him coach in person. That changes today. Hodgson recently turned down the Syracuse job. I think we get a full lock-in from their staff. I think they'll be really well prepared. UCF can run with these guys, or excuse me, USF can run with these guys. South Florida's going to have a lot of pace. They're going to try to get to the rim. They're going to constantly attack and put a lot of pressure on Louisville. And I'll be interested on the drop-off with Michael Brown's backup. I think that maybe Louisville struggles a little bit with the pressure here, but there's such a motivational edge for South Florida. These guys are completely locked in. I will not be surprised at all if South Florida wins this game outright.
All right, South Florida. Looks like you like the 4.5 there and potentially that plus 150. Next, we got High Point at Wisconsin. Well, not at Wisconsin, against Wisconsin. Wisconsin minus 10.5, minus 115. Totals at 162.5. Talk us through this. The classic 5-12 matchup. Are we going to see a 5-12 upset this year? Is it this one?
I don't know. I think this is a bad matchup for High Point, and the Big South is on an 0-5 against the spread run in the NCAAs. High Point really wants to press and provide a real high-pressure defensive system, but you're not going to turn Wisconsin over. These guys are so efficient offensively, and Wisconsin under Greg Gard is playing as fast as any Wisconsin team that we've ever seen. I think if High Point is going to press them at three-quarter court and try to do a little bit of trapping, Wisconsin will torch that. They'll get to the rim. They'll have open shooters from three. I played Wisconsin's team total over 86.5. I think they score a lot of points today. High Point may be able to match offensively. They've got three guys that are really, really good at being able to shoot the ball, and there's some athleticism for High Point, probably a little underrated team as far as their top-end athleticism. So this game should be high scoring, but I like Wisconsin to surpass their individual team total of 86.5.
All right, 86.5 towards the over for Wisconsin's team total. Duke Siena, 1 versus 16 seed. What is this? Duke minus 50,000 here on the money line. Totals at 28. Spread is at 28.5. Totals at 136.5 here. Duke's been dominant with Cam Boozer. Talk me through the Duke Siena game. Is this just going to be a blowout?
I think it's probably headed that way. Jerry McNamara has been a great coach for the Saints, and he took over a program. I think the year before he got there, they won 4 games, and so the turnaround at Siena has been very good. But I do like the under in this one at 136.5. We saw it for Duke with the injuries that they've been battling, low and slow pace. Duke is not seeking to run out in transition. It's 100% executing in the half court on every possession. Siena has to slow this game down to a absolute crawl, and they've done that this year in MAAC play. I think that Siena, they try to get into the mid-range. They're going to try to procure paint touches, but they're really going to struggle with that against Duke's size. And so they're going to have to make jumpers in the mid-range, 12 to 15 footers. And I just don't know that that's going to work against Duke's defense. And off of misses, again, Duke is not going to seek to try to run out in transition. It's all half court here. I see this game being played under 65 total possessions. I think Siena is really going to struggle to get out of the 50s here for total point total. I think we're looking at about a 75, 78 to 50 type of game here. So I do like the under. I wouldn't be stunned if Siena hangs around enough to cover the 28.5, but no upset today in this one. And I like the total game under.
All right, total game under is what we're looking at there, the 136.5. Also, maybe a little peek on the Siena team total, under as well. Vanderbilt, McNeese. McNeese was a fun story last year. Another 12 versus 5. Again, I'm going to ask you, we've seen I think it's averaging 1.45 upsets in the 12 versus 5 seed over the last 20 years. So people love this in their brackets, but should they be wary about clicking McNeese here?
I think so. I think it's a bad matchup for McNeese. McNeese has a real high pressure defense, and they are going to try to press and trap in the 3/4 court, full court press, 94 feet. They run a real high intensity defensive system to try to defend the full length of the floor. Well, Vandy could shred them there, and Vandy's going to be able to live at the rim and get to the foul line a ton here. We've seen this from Southland defenses all season. They foul a ton and send their opponents to the line. We might see 50 or 55 fouls called in this game. We should have a ton of points scored with the clock stopped. The other problem with McNeese is they are a great offensive rebounding team, and they send guys to crash the offensive boards. Well, what's going to happen? Long misses are going to turn into long rebounds, and it's going to be runouts the other way for Vandy. So I think Vandy is going to end up with a dunk practice or a layup line on the other end. McNeese has some shooters, and they could shoot their way into keeping this game close for a while. But really, I like the over. You're going to have a ton of fouls. You're going to have runouts on the other end for Vanderbilt. 149.5, 150. I like the high side here with McNeese and Vandy.
All right, 149.5 towards the over is what we're looking at here as the game starts. Ohio State TCU. I hope I'm not taking you away from your screen. Hopefully you're near your screen and able to watch. Josh, appreciate you joining the show. Going to keep rattling on through these games. Michigan State, North Dakota State, the 3 seed Michigan State minus 15.5, minus 120 on the spread at FanDuel. Total 143.5. Break this one down.
I don't have a strong take here. I would maybe lean North Dakota State to hang around. The number is big. The Bison are the only team in the Summit League that really plays any defense. I think they'll really be able to objectively limit what Michigan State wants to do in the half court. Every team in the Summit League runs, but I don't think North Dakota State is going to run here. So I think we'll see a real slow-paced game. I think the Bison will be methodical on the offensive end. They can hit some threes and stick around here. I lean North Dakota State plus the number, but I don't think it's a real threat for an upset here, and would give a slight lean to the full game total under.
All right, so lean North Dakota State. Lean full game total under. Full game total is right now 143.5, minus 105 at FanDuel. Arkansas, Hawaii. We keep things going. You know what? I forgot my Arkansas shirt today. Shit, I was going to wear it. Forgot to wear it. All right, Razorbacks. Here we go. Arkansas minus 14.5 right now, minus 120. Totals at 158.5. Juice towards the over, 115. You like Arkansas in this matchup?
I think we've seen some steam to the under for good reason. I think Hawaii really has to muck this game up. The defense is the problem for Hawaii. The defense is very good, but they don't switch off of ball screens. They really pack it in on the line. And with the way that they play defense, Acuff could torch these guys if Hawaii sticks to their principles. I like Iran Gano for Hawaii, their head coach. And I think that maybe we see some unique looks that Hawaii hasn't deployed all season, and that could maybe confuse Arkansas in the first half. So I wouldn't be stunned at all if Hawaii hangs around in the first half. But if they're not switching, if they don't create a few other dynamic looks, and if they really stick to their defensive principles, Acuff could score 35 points here in this game. I think Hawaii has enough to hang around. I don't want to lay 14.5 or 15. So I did pass, but I understand the steam towards the under, as I think this is one where Hawaii has to keep this to an absolute snail's pace. They do not want to run with Arkansas.
Yeah, maybe we can get. Maybe we look towards the first half spread there for Miami as they keep it super close. VCU, North Carolina up next here. This is one of the tightest games we're going to see today. North Carolina minus 138 on the money line. Total of this game is 150.5. Juice towards the over. North Carolina minus 2.5 on the spread. 6 versus 11 seed. Could be a lot of fun. Talk us through this one.
Yeah, I don't have a strong take here either. I wouldn't be stunned if VCU wins this game. They're going to press, and I'll be interested to see how North Carolina's guard play handles that press. North Carolina did deal with a few injuries down the stretch, so I'll be interested to see how many of those guys contribute in this first round game. I think you'll see a lot of activity on North Carolina just because they're a household name, but Virginia Commonwealth is a very strong defensive team. They play fast. They can get to the rim. Should be able to hang around here. So I don't have an official play, but I wouldn't be surprised if this game is very, very tight and comes down to the wire.
Yeah. All right. It's good that game starts at 6:50. That's one you're going to be watching on your TVs. Howard, Michigan up next. Howard wins, beats UMBC in the first four, gets the honor of playing Michigan in the first round. Michigan minus 31.5 on the spread. Totals at 151.5. You think Michigan can throw up 85, 90 points to cover this? Or do you think this is going to be another low scoring kind of trog of a game?
I think Michigan can score 100 here against this MEAC defense. I think Howard will run a little bit with Michigan, who should play a little faster here. Howard really struggles defensively with sending their opponents to the line, and I just don't think that they can match up here. The MEAC is such a poor league. They had 6 teams that were ranked in the bottom 10 of college basketball per KenPom, and I just don't feel that Howard is going to be able to procure stops to keep the game competitive. Whether they cover the 31.5, I don't know. But I actually like the over in this game. I think Michigan will end up scoring a ton of points here in this one. I think they'll be able to operate quickly. They should put up a lot of points in the first half. And, maybe Michigan takes their foot off the gas defensively, and maybe there's a little less defensive effort when they're up 25 or 30 late, and they kind of just trade bucket for bucket with Howard in garbage time, let's say. But over 150.5 is what I like here.
All right, next game we have on the board is Texas versus BYU. BYU minus 2.5, minus 105. Totals at 157.5. Juice towards the over, minus 115. Texas, very unimpressive in that first 4 game. Talk us through this one here. Do you like BYU? Do you think Texas has a shot? It should be a fun one.
I mean, I think we saw it for Texas in Dayton. I will say I like the under here. Texas played 3 games in 3 days at the SEC championships in Nashville. Then they flew home. Then they went to Dayton, now to Portland. And we saw that offense really just drag against NC State. 5 out of 17 from 3. They shot just 40% from inside the arc. And I think there's maybe a little bit of weathering on their bodies. I would imagine Texas has no interest in running with BYU here at all. I think Sean Miller slows this game down as much as possible. I think we'll see Texas struggle to shoot the ball. But BYU also has just looked a little bit different offensively. They have not been the same. They've dealt with some injuries and have had some guys out, and the offense has not looked the same. I think AJ DeBanza will get his. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes off for 30. But I think this game is played in the 70s here. And so I think BYU will win this game, but under this total is huge. 157.5. I'm going low.
All right, looking at the under at 157.5 here. As this TCU Ohio State game, a little sloppy to start March Madness, but I feel like that's how it always goes. All right, let's move on to Texas A&M and St. Mary's. St. Mary's minus 2.5, minus 120 on the spread. Totals at 140.5. Anything you like in this game here for the last game on the 7 o'clock slate?
I mean, it's a coin flip. I don't have a strong take. I think we've got such an interesting style because Randy Bennett has seen it all during his tenure at St. Mary's, and they want to play a half-court game. They want to play low and slow and limit the possession count. They're a great rebounding team. And we know what we're going to get from A&M and Buckyball. They're going to press. They're going to trap. They're going to really try to force turnovers and speed the game up. They did throttle that back a hair in the second half of the SEC schedule, so I'll be interested to see if we get a full deployment. When Bucky McMillan was at Samford, it was high energy and high press, trying to trap, trying to get the ball back and score quickly for 40 minutes. But again, they did throttle that back a little bit in the second half of the SEC schedule. So I'll be interested to see if we get that for a full 40 minutes. I think St. Mary's will be well equipped to handle that and be able to slow the game down. My heart tells me that this game is going to be really close, but St. Mary's is probably going to advance, but I wouldn't be surprised either way.
All right, this is going to be a tight one. Let's move on to Illinois and Pennsylvania. A lot of people I see love Illinois in this tournament. Minus 25.5 right now on the spread for Illinois. Totals at 155.5, juice towards the over, minus 115. Do you like Illinois? If you want to share now that the first game started, how far do you have Illinois going in your bracket?
Well, I will say I think Illinois is a very dangerous team. I think Illinois can win 3 games in this tournament. It would take a special effort to beat Houston, but I think that Illinois is one of those teams that could challenge to potentially get to the Elite Eight and beyond. In this opening matchup against Penn, this is a game and I've talked about this for several weeks during the conference tournaments, you really want the low major and the mid major leagues to send their best. And the Ivy League absolutely did not do that. Penn was very fortuitous in winning 2 overtime games to get here. It took a heroic effort from TJ Power in both games to do that. But their team's leading scorer, Roberts, is out. And Penn tweeted out through their athletic department that TJ Power is sick or has the flu or something and is potentially out here as well. With Roberts and Power potentially both out or not at full strength, Penn is really, really going to struggle here. They do not want to shoot threes. They're trying to procure paint touches, but they struggle so badly with their 2-point offense. They're 347th nationally in 2-point shooting on offense. Illinois is very efficient offensively, but they actually play very slow. And so I think that will limit the possession count here. Illinois is probably going to win this game by 30 points. I think that they destroy Penn, despite the familiarity with Fran McCaffrey in the Big Ten and having coached against Illinois for several years. I just don't think that there's anything Penn is going to be able to do to stop Illinois when they have the basketball. And I think that they will struggle on the offensive end. You could lay it if you want to. This line's ballooned up to about 26 or so. I actually like Penn's team total under 63.5. I don't think the Quakers are going to want to try to get it. They play fast generally, but I think in this game, Fran is going to have to really slow this game down. Again, without their 2 best players, or even if Power does play, but if he's sick or under the weather, who knows how that goes. He scored 40 points against Yale to get them into this position, and I don't think we see anything close to that here. So you're looking at a team total under for Penn, 63.5.
All right, team total under for Penn, 63.5 is what we're looking at here. 3 more games left to talk about for today, and we're absolutely breezing through them. St. Louis versus Georgia. Georgia minus 2.5. Totals at 167.5, juice towards the over. Give us this one.
A fun game here. I don't have a bet on this one. It's going to be high scoring, but the point total is really, really high. So I lean over, but not strong. St. Louis and Georgia are both going to seek to run out in transition. They both run beautiful offenses. I think we'll see a lot of shots from deep. I'm really excited to see St. Louis perform on this stage, see how they can handle the athleticism of Georgia. We could have upwards of 85 possessions here. No shot clock needed. It's going to be back and forth. I lean over, but this total is excessively high. So I couldn't get to the window with an actual play. I think both these teams will be in the 80s. It's just, will they get high enough to get this over 169.5?
Yeah. All right. Maybe keep an eye on that. Maybe they'll come down as it gets closer to the game. We still have, 9 hours before this game starts, and I can't wait for it. Gonzaga, Kennesaw State, next game we have on the board here. Total is at 151.5, juice towards the over. Gonzaga minus 28.5 here. Another one of these very large spreads that we're seeing. Talk me through this one.
I mean, another situation where Kennesaw was able to get in, but this was not the best team in Conference USA all season. And so I think it's a big mismatch here. I do like the over. Kennesaw State plays with a ton of pace, but these guys foul a ton. They foul and send their opponents to the free throw line more than almost anybody in the entire country. I think the Zags will live at the rim with Graham Ike, and I think they should have a ton of foul shots here. Kennesaw will not stop with the pace. They play blazing fast, and they will throughout the entirety of this game. We should see at least 80 possessions. And, I think Kennesaw State can shoot the ball a little bit here. And if they're able to get Gonzaga into a little bit of foul trouble themselves, maybe they hang around and keep this one within 15 in the late stages and keep trying to at least pursue, a lot of these teams, when they get into the dance, they foul it out till the very end, still just trying to maintain hope of winning, which could inflate the point total for the final score. I really think the points are coming here, though. I think Gonzaga will shred Kennesaw State in the lane. I think we'll have open shooters from deep for Gonzaga. I think Kennesaw is going to, again, continue to run their stuff, continue to play fast, and I won't be surprised if the Zags shoot 30 foul shots tonight. So should be a ton of activity at the rim. I like Gonzaga to put up upwards of 90 points. Kennesaw is probably good for 70. So at this point total, even though it's come down quite a bit here, I like the over.
Over of 151.5 at FanDuel. Last game we have here is Idaho, Houston. Houston minus 23.5 on the spread. Totals at 137.5, definitely a lower total in this one. Does Idaho have the guns to keep up with this Houston team and cover that 23.5?
Covering the 23.5, potentially. I will tell you this. Kelvin Sampson is a great under-trend coach when the total is lined at 140 or less, and his team is a big prohibitive favorite. Those games trend to the under hard. The pace is going to be very, very slow. Houston is 352nd nationally in operating tempo. Idaho ran around a little bit and played some pace in the Big Sky, but nobody in that league plays any defense. If you look at how Idaho performed in the non-conference, they really throttled back their pace. Idaho is going to really struggle to get any sort of positivity out of the paint. They like to operate out of the post. It's all going to be a mess against this exquisite Kelvin Sampson coach defense for Houston. I love Idaho's team total under 57.5, and I like the full game under 138.5. Houston is not going to run. They're going to operate entirely out of the half court. This might be a 63 possession slog. Idaho might struggle to break 50 here. So team total under, full game under.
Team total under, full game under, and the perfect game to close out the day to put us and lull us into sleep as we prepare for the 16 games that come up tomorrow. Josh, I wanted to talk to you about more things, but it's 12:30. I got to get you out of here, and I know you want to watch this game. Appreciate you donating your time to us and talking us through each game. So we'll chat soon.
Enjoy the action. We'll see you again soon. Thanks.
Appreciate great stuff there from Josh. As always, step on a duck. Go follow him on Twitter. Sorry we couldn't get around to everything, guys. Had to fire away and make sure we got through every single game today. And this rebounding prop is not looking too hot to start the day. So there we go. Get the losses out of the way early. It's all good, guys. It's all good. All right. Before we bring on our next guest, Alex and So Money. It seems like So Money's doing his hair in the background. So I'm going to give a quick shout out to our friends over at FanDuel. The tournament's tipping off, and it's time to dance. Only on FanDuel. During the first 2 rounds of the tourney, you can choose your reward every single day. Here's how it works. Choose between a 50% profit boost to increase your payout or 2 25% profit boosts to use on multiple games. You'll get 1 reward each day of the first and second rounds, giving you more ways to play while the bracket heats up. Use your 50% profit boost or grab 2 25% profit boosts. The choice is yours, however you're betting the tourney. FanDuel makes it easier to play it your way. Visit FanDuel.com/forwardprogress to make your choice. That's FanDuel.com/forwardprogress. FanDuel, play your game. Must be 21 plus and present in select states. For Kansas, when affiliation with Kansas Star Casino, or 18 plus and present in D.C., Kentucky, or Wyoming. Opt-in required. Rewards are non-withdrawable. Restrictions apply, including bonus and token expiration, leg requirements, and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. Call 1-888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org/Chatham, Connecticut, or visit gamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY in New York. Call 1-877-770-7867 in Louisiana. As Ohio State brings it to 1 versus TCU. I'm rooting for Ohio State today. Woo! Got them in my Calcutta. All right. Let's bring up the people you've been asking about, the 2 guys you've been waiting here for. It's time for Edgework Overtime. 11 games in the NHL slate today. So Money, Alex Moretto. How's it going, my friends?
What's going on, Jason? What's going on, So Money?
Wait. So Money, speak to us.
Hey.
There we go. Not muted?
Oh,
wow. Big day. Big day.
Finally laid that minus 10,000 too.
Oh, man, I feel like Fezzik. Honestly, would it be any more poetic to do it on the first day of March Madness to lose a minus 10,000 bet? So Money, I have a task. I had a task for you before we came to air. Did you finish the task?
I'm unsure what the task is.
Oh, no, I just said I expect 1 college basketball play from So Other Sports.
Oh, yeah, no problem. That's fine.
You know what's crazy? No one reads my messages. No one reads them. Alex, you saw that, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really read them either.
Okay.
It's not that I don't read them. It's just that I just skim through everything and I just asking for a college basketball play is not that big of a deal. So it's not something I'm going to keep in my mind.
Okay. If it's not a big deal, then you know what? So Other Sports. Tell the people what they're in for here.
All right. Let me try to find something that's still available.
All right. While you try and find something that's available, I quickly want to throw to Alex. Alex, I don't know if you have an opinion on this, but I thought it was pretty funny to see there was Alan Walsh, I think, agent on Twitter, tweeted out that a GM went up to Gary Bettman saying what they're doing at player safety is ridiculous. Any opinion on that? And if you had to guess, which GM would it be?
Department of Player Safety is a joke.
Yeah, easily.
The lack of consistency is crazy. I mean, I don't know how you really defend it. I I would guess it's trailing. Like, I would have to guess that. I mean, like, no one is more vocal about it than the Leafs and the Leafs fan base and stuff. And I'm not saying that, like, it's not like they're just whining about it. Like, it's true. There is, like, even as a Habs fan, I would say it does appear that there is some bias towards the Leafs, which I think is fantastic. That's probably the thing they do best, is like shaft the Leafs at every possible turn. So that would be my guess. I would pay a lot of money to get like just the live cam footage from inside that building to see what happened.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, I wish I was there, boots on the ground. Maybe we got to send Corby out there because he's in Florida. So maybe I don't know how far he is from wherever they're congregating. But yeah, the fact that you admitted that gave me like
March break too. We should have got Feinberg down there.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Boots on the ground.
Take the kids. Make it look like he's taking the kids for like, a nice little Florida vacation. Meanwhile, he's sneaking to the GM meetings.
He just doesn't care enough about hockey. We should send So Money down. So Money would be great at that.
I'll go down next year.
All right. So Money just
watching spring training.
Oh, it's a disaster. I hope you have this game on in the background, Ohio State TCU guys, because I do. I'm just, if you see me look over to this way. All right. So Money, were you able to find college basketball? Your hair looks great. Don't worry. Were you able to find any college basketball stuff for us here?
I did. So I do like one thing I'm going to give out. It's run a little bit, but I still like it. Over 152, or 152 and a half is fine too in Pennsylvania, Illinois.
All right, Pennsylvania, Illinois, over 152 and a half. Good luck on the bracket this year. So you look good. Relax.
I know there's like this hair here. That's like,
Did you get a haircut?
A couple weeks ago.
Looks great. All right. No more dilly.
That's price and market at FanDuel on that one, by the way.
All right, yeah, good stuff. If
company man, So Money, I love it.
Appreciate that, So Money.
Go bet that at FanDuel right now.
Gonna do that, and while you guys do that and wait, let's get into today's slate of games. All right, let's start with the Habs and the Red Wings here. Who wants to go first? Alex, you want to go first on this one? This one is basically a coin flip here. Habs minus 115 on the money line on the road. Totals at 6.5, juice towards the under, minus 134. Alex, to you, anything you like in this game?
I haven't bet anything yet. I don't hate Detroit if we get Kopp in the lineup. Mind you, looks like Detroit's taking a little bit of money right now too. So there was some plus money out there. I thought if Kopp, who's a game time decision, if he does play, then like maybe just enough there to get me on the wings. But now that it's trending back out to like, minus 104 is kind of the best I'm seeing. Probably nothing for me on this one. Don't have anything on the total either as the over gets bet too. Just not the most attractive game from a betting perspective here. I think it's lined generally like fairly, and just gonna sit back and hope the Habs can take care of business here because it's obviously a big game in that Eastern Conference playoff race. Although if you read the newsletter yesterday, I think that both these teams will be okay because I think Boston's gonna pretty comfortably fall out of this race soon.
All right,
maybe a little teaser for another play coming up.
There we go. Both teams in the wild card race here. Talking too much basketball on the show. I forget the hockey terms now. Anyways, So Money, Habs, Red Wings. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I did play the Habs. I think that I'm starting to get a little bit concerned about the Red Wings. I think that throughout the course of the season, I said that they'll be fine and they'll be around, and they are around, but I just don't know if they're fine. I think that they're starting to drop in the standings. I don't like. I just don't like the way that they look right now, and I don't like and I don't like what the numbers say on them either. So Montreal's a team that I do think Montreal is going to be fine, and if that's the case, then this is the type of game that they should be winning, and the numbers depressed a little bit. Just because of market sentiment here, but if I'm right, then Montreal should be winning this game. So, and they did take some money today too, to be fair. So, I do like them up to minus 115.
All right, So Money on Montreal minus 115. Yes, you heard that right. So Money, not Alex, on Montreal at minus 115. Next game,
I love it. I think if just to So Money's point there though, like because I know that as a Habs guy, I should be backing my team. I do think that if you're going to look at more like recent play, I think there is reason to be concerned about Detroit for sure. They've done this before too, like where they kind of fade as the season goes on. And if this is like another case of that happening, I do think there's like reason to potentially get behind the Habs if you're going to kind of weight like recent results and like how teams are sort of trending. I was just kind of looking bigger picture, but there's definitely like an element of like, if that is the case, then maybe there's something not being captured by the market here in terms of, a little hidden value on the Habs.
All right, hidden value on the Habs from the Habs fan himself. I don't know if I buy it, but I buy it. Let's talk through Islanders and Ottawa Senators. Senators minus 132 on the money line. Totals at 6. Juice towards the under. Minus 12. So money. We'll start with you on this one. Anything you like in this game?
So on the surface, it looks like the Islanders have value, and they did take money as well. I'm still fine with this Ottawa team. I don't know if they have enough to make the playoffs, but I mean, I don't really have a problem with the way that they've been playing. Islanders, of course, are a team that I'm not high on at all. However, that being said, I can't get on this number. I do need a little bit lower on the Senators for me to get there. So I'll end up passing on this game.
All right, so money passing on this game. Alex, anything you like here?
Yeah, I agree. I would have wanted to maybe bet the Sens just as a little bit of a fade of the Isles too, but not getting cheap enough, especially with massive advantage in net with Sorokin against Reimer. Kind of happy that I'm gonna just stay away here because I think there's like, I don't know if you saw the highlights to Chuck last night. Like, I don't know, like something like this is a really good Sens team that like their numbers have been great all season long. Obviously just tanked by goaltending, but like something just seems off there. I don't know if there's going to be a point where like obviously they have the injuries on the back end, they have a lot of ground to make up. Like maybe they're just quitting, or some of their guys are quitting. So that kind of scares me too. So I definitely want to be really price sensitive here, and I don't think we're getting the price that we would need to get involved.
All right, let's move on to the next game. Alex, you alluded to it earlier in the show. Winnipeg and Boston. Boston minus 142 on the money line. Totals at 6. Juice towards the under. Minus 120. I'll let you lead with this one. Is this going to be a Winnipeg smash on the money line here? Talk us through what you like.
Yeah, I bet the Jets yesterday night. I couldn't believe how high this one opened, and I'm trying to find the confirmation to see if Pionk is in here, but regardless, I bet the Jets yesterday, and then the Pionk is not inside. Okay, and then the line kind of ran a bunch overnight and into this morning, and now we just saw a ton of buyback for no reason on. I mean, not no reason. I guess the market likes Boston. The market likes Boston. It is what it is. Who am I to suggest otherwise right now, given the last 2 weeks? But you know what? We had a really good night last night on the ice, and hopefully we can carry that over into tonight. I really like this Jets number tonight. I think that, frankly, I played a plus 124. There was better than that seconds ago. They're still better than that right now in one spot. I still think I would have played this down to like plus 115. I think this is a really, not really underrated, but a little bit of an underrated now they've become team by the market in the Jets. And I know the Bruins have been pretty good at home, but like, it's just not a good hockey team, and there's no reason they should be laying this number against the Jets team that they're pretty much evenly power rated with right now.
All right, you like the Jets. You can find numbers out there upwards of, well, there was a plus 127 out there. It's moved. 120 is pretty widely available, plus 118 at FanDuel. But of course, as we always mention, shop around. You can find good prices, especially if you're in Ontario and you live near a convenience store. So money. Anything you like in this game here? You agree with the Winnipeg Jets on the money line?
Yeah, I do. And I played the Jets as well. We've talked about the Jets. I do think they're a team that is going to really push for the playoffs here. And I think that there might be a good chance that they make it. Boston, they are who they are. They're a little bit inconsistent right now. But this play is more based on where I think that the Jets are and where they're going. And at this number, I don't think that we are picking up on where I think that this Jets team is going. So that's the basis of my play here.
All right, makes perfect sense here. Let's move over to the Rangers and Blue Jackets game. I will probably never. It might take me like a year to get used to seeing the Blue Jackets and like a minus 200 in front of them. Minus 225 right now on FanDuel. I can't get I can't get the bad Blue Jackets, the stench of them over the last 10 years out of my mind. But here they are. Blue Jackets minus 225 on the money line. Rangers absolutely suck. Two teams in opposite directions. Totals at 6 just towards the over, minus 122. Talk us through this one. So money. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I want to bet Columbus with almost any number, but I mean, those are ridiculous here. So, at this number, I will pass with the expectation that Columbus just takes care of business because they are a wagon right now.
Absolute wagon. This Columbus team, we're passing on it so much. Or sorry, Alex, you like anything? Dabble in that minus 1.5, maybe if you're feeling crazy.
So money will be happy to know that over the last few days I've been betting a couple Columbus futures, not Cup futures though, not Cup futures, but Eastern Conference futures at least. I've been betting them to win the East. I'm not saying the Cup is a bad bet. Obviously, it's just a derivative, but I just think it's because of the pathway, and I think they have a really good chance of getting at least to the conference finals. Then you obviously have a lot of flexibility with what you can do with it, especially with all my Tampa stuff. If I'm sitting there with the Tampa Columbus Eastern Conference final, take you guys all out to the keg, just a nice small little keg dinner, but yeah, I think it should say something that I don't like the Rangers, even at this big number. A Rangers team that I've been betting on a bunch. I think this is warranted for Columbus. I like, again, price sensitive here because Rangers make me a little bit nervous still defensively here, but they're not generating much again. Like their 5-on-5 offense has kind of gone into the gutter, and Columbus is really looking good defensively. We got Greaves in net. This is the type of situation where I think kind of a business trip. Like it's great to see Bonus too that has just turned to Greaves now back as their full-time goalie. Not that Merzlikins was playing bad, but Greaves is definitely the far superior of the two, and he didn't realize that at the start of his tenure. Seems like he's definitely realized that now. I think this is just one of those get in, get out kind of games for Columbus, who has a back-to-back this weekend. 4-0, 4-1 type of game. So I do like the under here, under 6 and plus money. Want to be price sensitive though, because there is obviously always the potential that the Rangers just Shesterkin's in net at least, but there's always the potential that they just kind of blow up defensively, and this is like a 7-1 game. So yeah, under 6 I like if you can get that plus money.
All right, under
which
6,
is available at FanDuel, by the way.
Under 6 plus 102 company man available at FanDuel is what we're going to be laying on this one. And the Rangers, the Blue Jackets game. All right, next game we got on the board here is Chicago and the Minnesota Wild. Minnesota seems to be struggling a little bit over their last couple games. They were able to pick up a win 2 nights ago against the Blackhawks in overtime, playing the Blackhawks again tonight. Alex, you get the lead on this one. Minnesota minus 220 on the money line. Totals at 6. Plus or minus 124. Juice towards the over. Talk us through this one.
You want to play the clip from the other day and just rehash the whole thing?
Do we have that?
Sure. I'm going back with the under again.
If only
I'm betting the under again. They played the other night. I bet the under. Lost the under. I won't say I deserve to win. Because it wasn't necessarily a super low event game at 5-on-5. That being said, I think it was just more of an outlier than anything, and we were still right there, even after a chaotic first period that saw 3 goals and a ton of chances. The game kind of died out, and we were at 3-2 with a minute left, and Chicago tied it to kill the under. So I'm going back to the well here, under 6 plus money, minus 105, whatever you want to do. I like this again, and I see no reason why we shouldn't be betting this again.
All right. Going back to the well, under 102, Chicago, Minnesota. So money. You're Quinn Hughes playing in this game. Scores a lot of points. Do you agree with the under?
What was that about Quinn Hughes?
I don't know. I'm just trying to tie.
Oh, all right. No.
Quinn Hughes is your guy. He scores a lot of points. Alex liked the under. I don't know.
Yeah, no. I like the under here as well. Especially at the plus money now. Yeah, I think for all the reasons Alex mentioned and for the reasons that he betted last game too, I'll be tailing him on this one.
All right. Double best bet. Can I call it that?
Yeah.
All right. There we go. Seattle, Nashville. Next game we have here, Nashville minus 140 on the money line. Seattle, the team that nobody wants in the playoffs, but seems like, nobody but so money wants in the playoffs, but seems like they might have a chance to make it. Totals at 6, juice towards the under, minus 115. Alex, so money, you get to lead with this one. You can talk us through this.
Yeah, I bet should come as no surprise. I bet Seattle here. It's just look at this number on Nashville. Like I know that you look at their past games here. It's been a little bit up and down, but I mean Nashville's not a team that should be laying this kind of number here, even at home. So I do like Seattle. I do like. I'm not going to say they're going to make the playoffs, but I think that they're going to stick around, and they're so much better than the Kings. Have I mentioned how much the Kings suck? Yeah, I do. I did play Seattle today. I like them down to plus 110.
All right, Seattle down to plus 110. Alex, to you. You seem to be shaking.
I doubled down yesterday on the Kings. Kings making the playoffs. So there you go. No, I really do like that Kings to make the playoff bet, though. If you missed the newsletter, I would say check it out because there's a lot of reasons I kind of laid out in there as to why I think that's a very good bet. One of them being Seattle does suck. And this is not a bet on Nashville spot for me, though. I agree that there was a time where I was pondering it when it started to dip into the 20s. I'm like, oh, this tips a little lower into the low 20s, but I didn't. Nashville got bet again. And I can't. I mean, Nashville's, as bad as I think Seattle is, Nashville's been playing really bad themselves. So I'm not going to be interested in laying this with them. I got nothing in this game.
All right, let's move on to the next game then. Florida and Edmonton. Alex, you came on the show and gave out some pretty fun futures this year. Some under points to win the Stanley Cup. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking I got some like really good numbers on like Florida and Edmonton. But Florida, I don't think they're going to make it. They're probably not going to make it. Edmonton.
Florida's not making it.
Florida's not making it.
Edmonton's going to make it. Edmonton
might,
sure
but like
they're 100% making it.
Okay, well, but there's no Draisaitl now. I'm feeling a little bit more worried about things. Okay. But yeah, Florida, Edmonton minus 156 at home. Totals at 6.5 juice towards the over minus 128. Alex, you seem to like Edmonton here.
No, I don't like Edmonton here. I don't dislike them here. I think it's generally fine. I played some early over 6.5 in the low, like minus 105-ish, but it's kind of run, and it's not one that I'd be dying to chase here. Even without Draisaitl, just more to do with Florida and the way Florida's playing. And I learned my lesson with Edmonton the other day. It doesn't matter what kind of defense they play. Goaltending is optional in their games. It's like even when the goalies they're up against just forget how to play goalie. It's insane. So that under 7 was a real slap in the face to lose that one. Didn't deserve to win it. Yeah, just not a great bet in the end. But flip my tune here a little bit, and I just think it's a drastic like change in line here. I mean, we're going from 7s against San Jose, and now to 6.5 like juiced under. To open against Florida. I think that was too much of an overreaction, especially considering Florida's been playing some pretty high-end hockey themselves lately. Not really playing defense for a while, generating a decent amount. They've just kind of like abandoned the Florida style now that their season's over and they're just having some fun out there. So I think there's potential for a lot of goals in this one. I did like the over. Don't really like it anymore, but if it does kind of come back and you can get like anything better than minus 110, I'd say that's a bet.
All right, we want the over, but we need the 110, which not available right now, but keep your eye on the screen. Could be there. So money, anything you like in the Florida Edmonton game, or do you want to move on to Buffalo and San Jose?
No, we can move on. I got nothing here.
All right, let's move on to Buffalo and San Jose then. Buffalo minus 146 on the money line. Totals at 6.5 juice towards the over minus 140. So money, you get the lead. You're backing the Sharks here, or you're backing Buffalo?
I want to, but I'm not going to bet against the Sabres either. I think that the Sabres have proven all year that these big numbers, there's some teams that aren't ready for it and they can't handle it. They shouldn't be priced like this, but the Sabres aren't one of those teams right now. So I do like the Sharks, but I think that this game is lined where it should be. The over took a lot of money. Would have loved to be on that over, but I missed it. So now I'm sitting. I will watch this game. I think it's going to be a good game, but now I'm just going to be sitting on the sidelines here.
All right, sitting on the sidelines here. You're going to be watching some March Madness. Horn Frog's doing great. Horns up. But Alex, anything you like in this game here?
No, I had a whole thing that I was going to write up yesterday in the newsletter about why I don't think Buffalo's actually that good. But thought better not to do it. But if you look at their splits, their numbers against, even over this like insane winning run they've been on, their numbers are not really that good. A lot of things in there that are pretty unsustainable. They're also a really bad face-off team, which is I think going to catch up to them when that stuff matters a lot more come April. I just think there's a lot of holes in this team, and they're winning games that they shouldn't necessarily be winning on a lot of nights, and that's fine. I'm sure that's good chance of that to continue here, because I don't think San Jose is all that good either. But I do want to be betting against Buffalo at one point. Just haven't quite found a time as to when. Eventually, I'll be there.
Maybe that round one matchup, whoever they get, maybe in the wild card, if they can lock up first. Columbus. Oh, all right.
No, I hope not, because that means Buffalo wins the division. Don't want that.
All right.
Don't want that.
Let's talk the team that you want to win the division, apparently, the Lightning versus the Canucks. Lightning minus 315 on the money line against the Vancouver Canucks. It's just primed for an absolute beatdown. Totals at 6.5, shoots towards the under, minus 122. So, Money, thank God we got March Madness on all day, so you don't have to watch this game. Alex, you get to lead on this one. Talk us through it.
I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing here. I don't even know what to expect from Vancouver nights. So some nights they can't do anything, and some nights they're just like back and forth playing like pond hockey. It's just it's so all over the place. Tampa can come in here and win this game 2-0 if they want to, or they can come in and win it 7-5. Like no interest for me here.
All right, no interest from you guys, from Alex. There's so money to you. My goodness.
Yeah, I got nothing here. I mean, that's we're into the minus 300s on Tampa Bay. That's just massive. But I mean, I don't think you can bet the Canucks. They got a nice win against Florida. I don't know why, but they beat Florida. But I got nothing here.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Also, someone just sent me a message about Tulsky getting towards Bettman about goalie interferences and the challenges in the video. So maybe he was the one who was talking about the headshots. Who knows? Anyways, let's get into the next game we have here at Utah against the Vegas Golden Knights. Golden Knights right now minus 137 on the money line. If you like Utah plus 1.5, you can take them on at FanDuel, best price in market at minus 225. Totals at 6, just towards the over, minus 120. So money to you. What do you got for us?
Nothing here. It's just so tough these days, especially this week. Like just finding stuff to like bet on. So, I got nothing here either, man.
Yeah, your eyes are peeled on the college basketball betting board. I know what you're doing. Don't worry about it. Alex, anything for you here?
I just not getting the price to bet an under. I do like the under, like sort of stylistically here with this matchup, the way both these teams are playing. Big game for Vegas here. Really need to get back on track. They're playing well defensively. Like they're playing well in general. Utah's playing really well defensively, playing well in general. Just don't trust Vegas to get the saves necessarily still. And I'd want a little bit. I mean, that minus 102. Actually, you know what? Minus 102 at FanDuel is nice on that under. I'm fine betting that. I'm actually going to go bet that right now. Hopefully, I can get it before that moves. I'll make that an official bet. That's good enough price for me to get involved on this under.
All right, under 6 minus 102 available at FanDuel. Alex saying go. Last game we have on the board here. While I let Alex click around so many, that's going to go to you first. His Kings minus 176 on the money line. Totals at 6 minus 115 towards the under. You like the Kings in this one?
No.
No.
It's just, yeah. So I don't like the Kings at this number, but I'm not going to be running to bet the Flyers either. So, maybe if the Flyers getting into the plus 160s, I mean, like everybody has a price. But nothing right now. I would need at least 160 on the Flyers to even consider it right now. As much as I hate the Kings.
All right, Alex. It seems like you're still clicking away. So are you going to?
We're good now. Yeah, we're good.
You're going to be backing your Kings on this one.
No, I did not. I had this one circled as an over bet, 6+ money, or like there was some 5.5 minus 120 even at one point. But someone brought up a good point to me, that not impossible that Philly goes back to Vladar here. Obviously, like still somewhat semi-believing that they have a playoff chance, which like they have an outside chance. It's very small, but like they keep winning games. They're not completely out of the race yet. Like some of these teams in the East. They do go back to Vladar here, then I'm not necessarily interested in Philly, but I definitely I don't want the under them. But if it is the over, sorry, if it is Urson and the 6+ money's there, then I'd bet some over.
All right. If it's Urson in, we're betting the over again. Waiting on that news to see where we go with that one. That wraps up everything for today. I believe you only had 2 plays for today. Am I missing one?
No, I had 2. Yeah. Chicago under. 3.
Oh, 3. Sorry,
under,
the double best bet.
Yeah, Chicago under, Winnipeg, and Montreal.
All right, Chicago under, Winnipeg, Montreal. Alex, no, I thought you had Seattle. You didn't have Seattle?
Like 3-0 to me.
Yeah, Seattle as well. 4 plays.
4 plays. Okay. All right. 4 plays for so money. Double best bets on the Winnipeg and the Chicago, Minnesota under. Alex also likes Rangers, Blue Jackets under 6 plus 100. And then the Utah, Vegas under 6 minus 102. That's it. As Ohio State. Oh, no, as TCU drains a 3. Oh, my goodness. It's a 15-point game. Just like that. Bye-bye, Ohio State. Anyways, appreciate you guys joining the show. So money. Alex, good luck on your brackets. Good luck on your March Madness bets this week. Enjoy. Hopefully you cooked some dinner, bought the significant other some flowers so you can, get some time near the TV for the rest of the day. No, you didn't? Someone has no idea what I'm talking about. He doesn't follow me on Twitter. It's okay. Anyways, appreciate you guys. We'll chat soon.
See you guys.
Awesome stuff there. As always, so money. Don't worry. I'll send you the video. I was just giving out some life hacks, life advice for the people. Some people took it up. Matt Winnick, frequent member of the show, always frequent guest of the show, took me up on it. I took myself up on it. I know some of you in the chat did as well. All right, guys, that wraps up today's show. Shout out to Josh. Shout out to So Money. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Mike behind the boards, keeping things smooth as always. And then shout out to you guys for watching. Appreciate you guys. Do us a favor. Smash the like button if you haven't already. If you're new to the channel as well, hit the subscribe button. Let us know. Comment below who you think is most likely to bust your bracket. Who do you think is going to bust other people's brackets? Give me your favorite upset in the round of 64 that you think might happen. And if you're listening on audio forms, do us a huge, huge favor. Hit that rate. Hit that review. Give us 5 stars. Goes a long way for us. Lets people know that you enjoy this and that other people like you might enjoy it as well. And then finally, we're on the road to get 5,000 subscribers. So do us a favor. Share with your friends if you've already subscribed. Betting group chats. Heck, even your March Madness pools. Let us know. Let them know that if they like March and they like betting on March.
It's also, before we get out of here, it's looking like we are going to see a double-digit upset today, potentially.
Oh, no, with what? Nebraska, Troy?
Well, no, isn't TCU the 9 seed?
Yeah, TCU's a 9 seed. That's not a double-digit upset.
Oh, double. Sorry. I thought you meant points-wise. Sorry.
You're good. All good. Let's
get out of here.
Let's get out of here. Appreciate you guys joining the show. Smash the like button on the way out. And that's it. That wraps up. This has been Thursday, March 19th edition of the Hammer Daily here on the Hammer Betting Network, presented by our good friends over at FanDuel. We'll see you guys right here tomorrow.